So today I'm going to be Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be telling you a story time about the time my cat Gabby got her tail amputated. Also, if you don't like really bloody and or gory type things, I suggest you click off the video right now. But anyway, let's get right into this story time. Okay, so basically the whole thing started one day when I came home from school or wherever I was. I don't really remember because this story was like 2 years ago, so sorry if I don't include a lot of details. But so it all started when I came home from school or whatever, and I saw that Gabby was dragging her tail behind her on the ground. And Gabby had like this really full, like fluffy tail. It was sort of thin and then had like a poof, if you know what I mean. Persians, just look up a Persian tail. And it was just kind of like dragging behind her on the ground, and it's usually like up and like flowing, if you know what I mean. But that day it wasn't. It was just dragging on the ground behind her. So I was like, that's a little strange, but you know, I'm not really gonna think anything of it. Also, I was in like 2 years ago, I was in 5th grade. 2 years ago, I was 11 or 10, so 10-year-olds don't really think of that stuff. I mean, neither do 13-year-olds, but you know. So I didn't think anything of it. So I just went to my room, blah, 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 and then I hear my mom, and she comes in my room, and she's like, there's blood all over the dining room chairs. And I was like, what do you mean there's blood? Like, why would there be blood? So she takes me downstairs, and I look, and what do you know? There's blood all over the dining room chairs, and the chairs are like gray, so it was pretty noticeable, you know? Well, they were gray. They used to be gray. So I was like, what does this mean? Like, was Gabby like throwing up blood? Like, I didn't think it would be her tail. Little did I know it was. So she was acting really weird. The next day, that day went by. We didn't really think anything of it. We were just like, oh, maybe she, I don't know. I don't know, okay? I was stupid. We were both stupid. Sorry, Mom, but we were stupid. So we just like kind of ignored it. And the next day, Gabby was acting so strange. Like, I've never seen her like this before. And she was like biting at her tail. So I was like, Gabby, chill. Like, boy, like, what are you doing? So then I look at her tail closer, and I see like an open wound, and there's like all blood, and it's like bleeding really bad. So I'm like, oh Lord. So we took her to the vet, and I was so nervous. I was like crying the entire day. I was a wreck. I thought she was gonna like die. I don't know how she would even die from that, but I thought she was going to. So I was a disaster. And we had to leave her at the vet all day so they could like check her. I don't know. So then later my mom comes and picks me up from my grandparents' house, and she says that Gabby's tail is broken, and I was like, okay, what do we do for that? And apparently she had to get half of her tail amputated. If you're very young and don't know what amputated means, it means chopped off. So my cat was going to have half a tail. And her tail was just like her. Like, it kind of just defined her, I feel like. I know that's really weird to say, but I just feel like it did. And so I was like devastated. I was like, what? Because I was so worried for her. Like, she's like my child. So I was crying and crying and crying. So the next day rolls around, and it's time to take her to the little pet hospital thing. And it was surgery time, so oh my god, I was a disaster, hysterically crying the whole time in the vet like a loser. Like, she wasn't gonna die. Like, we knew that. Like, obviously, it's just her tail. But I don't know, there was something, I was so scared for her. It's like having your arm amputated. Like, if she was a person, like, I'd be just as worried. So no, I wasn't overreacting. So we go and drop her off, and then we have to leave her there the entire day, and boy, was that a stressful day. So later, I go with my mom to pick her up, and I'm, like, so nervous, because I'm like, what if she's not as cute? Because, like, her tail was her. So I'm like, what if she's ugly now? I was very stupid, okay? Give me a break. I was, like, 10. So we get her, and she's totally fine. She's got some stitches. It was a little bloody and disgusting, but other than that, it was okay. So she kind of just had, like, this. And it used to be, like, double this, and then with, like, a poof, but it was just this. And so I'm like, okay, this is gonna be hard to get used to, but I think I can manage. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Like, sell her? Like, what am I supposed to do? So I take her home, and I'm playing with her, I'm petting her, I'm hugging her, I'm like, oh my gosh, my poor baby. So the next day rolls around, and we go downstairs, and there's more blood on the dining room chairs. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why? What's happening now? So I find Gabby. She's under the dining room table, biting her tail. And I'm like, no. Bleeding everywhere. Blood all over the floor, all over the rug, everywhere. And I'm like, honey, no. So I am freaking out. I start hysterically crying because she's a little cat. She's like 4 pounds. She can't be losing that much blood. So I'm freaking out. So we rush to the pet hospital, whatever. And they look at her, and she's completely torn it up. She ripped all the stitches out. It's completely torn up, which I will never forget how it looked after that. It was the most disturbing image I've ever seen in my life. So I'm freaking out. We go to the vet, and we thought they were just gonna, like, look at her, like, maybe give her one of those cones. No. Okay, we're there for about 4 hours, maybe 5. And we're talking 8 o'clock at night. I'm not talking midday, 1 p.m. 8 at night to be at the vet for 5 hours? Boy, chill. Like, I need sleep. I was 10. I used to go to bed at 9. So we're freaking out. We don't know what's happening. They're in there for 5 hours, and we don't even know what's going on. So they come out after, like, 2 hours. No. Okay, the vet comes out after, like, 2 hours of waiting. And they're like, we have to take the whole tail off. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you have to take the whole tail off? And they're like, we gotta take it off. Like, it's torn up. And I'm like, no. Like, no. What, she's not gonna have a tail at all? And they're like, nope, no tail. So I'm like, as if half a tail wasn't bad enough. Now she's got nothing. So 3 more hours go by. We're sitting there. They won't let us go home. Okay, we're sitting there for 3 hours while my cat's in the room that I'm right across from getting her tail cut off. And I was 10 years old. That's traumatizing stuff. So I'm there like crying, like playing Angry Birds on my little iPod Touch to try and calm me down. And I can't. I was so upset. So they bring her out and she's in one of those plastic cones, and I'm like, my baby, what did you do to her? So now her tail's flat. There is no tail. There's no tail. It's just flat. So, I mean, now that I'm used to it and time has gone by, I actually think she looks a lot cuter without the tail. I feel like the tail made her more pretty, and without the tail makes her more cute. Cat people will understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's the story. But thankfully, she's totally back to normal now. Everything is fine, thank God. Hi, Gabby. Meow. I had this whole setup that was holding my camera, and the entire thing just collapsed, and I don't feel like putting it back, so this is how I'm doing the outro. I also almost forgot to mention that this is a collab video with Tigger the cat. I think it's 124. I could be wrong, but the link to their video will be in the description. They also did a story time, so go check that out. And yeah, so there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and comment below what you want to see next, and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next video. Bye! Gabby, say bye.